My name's Jerry Rubin, and I'm a longtime resident of Santa Monica, originally from back east. And I'm a peace, environmental activist, and my wife, my late wife now, Marissa, and I planted this beautiful tree here 40 years ago on Earth Day, and it's been proclaimed a living monument to world peace. It's called the Children's Tree of Life. My wife, Marissa, got the plaque, thought of the name, worked with the late Mayor Ken Edwards to come up with a proclamation. And sadly, it's almost a year now, but it seems like just the other day, she passed from the devastating effects of pancreatic cancer. And we had been married here 40 years ago at a public peace rally wedding that was special. So we're here today to continue the tradition that Marissa and I started 12 years ago with a group we formed called Tree Hugging Friends. And we have an annual tree hugging day. A couple times it was on the spring equinox, once on the fall equinox, but most of the time on the summer solstice right here, because we know how important trees are for our environment and for the future of planet Earth. So we want to get people involved. We have a great urban forester. We have a great urban forest task force. We have fantastic trees. Unfortunately, some of them are being hit by a devastating disease now that's going to be hurting them, and that is sad. But we have some really compassionate people on city staff that are going to do everything they can to save as many of those trees to make sure that disease doesn't spread. We urge you to come over and become an official tree hugger. What that means is, hey, no one ever says, boy, look at that crazy flower smelling person or sunset watching person. So why be embarrassed to go over anytime you feel like it and hug a tree? Who cares what people say? You'll feel good, it's special, and we urge people to hug trees and do it. And it's a great way to educate young people in a hands-on way about the importance of connecting with Mother Nature and Mother Earth through our trees. Before we begin with the speakers, we're honored to have our former mayor, Jim Kahn, here. We're honored to have people from the Sierra Club. But before I introduce everybody, I do want to introduce our dear friend and one of the great members of our group that we had called Tree Savers, Joe Ferris, to sing what has become an anthem for our group here, and you'll recognize it right now. Please welcome for a musical opening, Joe Ferris.
Thank you, Jerry. This is a poem set to music. Joyce Kilmer wrote the poem. He was a man who fought in the First World War, and Joyce Kilmer fought in the First World War and lost his life in France in the 20s. In the 30s, a man by the name of Rasbacher set to music.
Party, man. Y'all too old to be sitting around. I'm so sorry, though. The queen don't know how to act.
I'm going to take this off so I don't lose it. And this is over 100 years old. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is spread beneath the world on the earth. I'm gonna have to bring out my air. A tree whose hungry mouth is spread against the earth's sweet flowing breast. a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray. A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Thank you so much.
That's why you hug them.
Don't more, please. Hey, please try not to walk on. I want to mention this is a lovely drawing that Diane Andrews did. Wonderful artist, wonderful musician, dear friend of Marissa and me. And she did this for Marissa's birthday when we had the memorial back on October 16th. And she couldn't be here, and her husband Charles Andrews, a wonderful columnist for the Daily Press, and they're here in spirit, as is Marissa. She loves sunflowers, and thank you for this drawing.
It's right there behind you.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank our dear friend Gary Average. Used to head up the student body at Santa Monica College when I first met him in 1979. A dear friend, does great graphics, and he made this beautiful Forever Marissa collage of some of Marissa's favorite photos. And he couldn't be here today because it's his mom's 94th birthday, I think. So he's here in spirit as well. And thank you, Gary Average. And I also want to thank our dear friend Steve Castro, the proprietor of Sammy's Blossoms at Euclid and Pico, for all the sunflowers in recent months that he's put together to give personally in honor of Marissa, her favorite flower. And after we speak, we're going to go over to see how the new tree's doing that the city planted for Marissa, the Tree of Gratitude. So stick around. I'm honored now to introduce two former mayors. First, dear friend of ours, a dear friend of Santa Monica, a dear friend of planet Earth, a dear friend of people working in the unions, a dear friend trying to help the homeless and people for years and years and decades. One of the most compassionate people I've ever met. Former minister of the church in Ocean Park, and the former great mayor of Santa Monica. Please welcome to the microphone right now, James Caan.
I think there's some sort of expectation that former mayors or ministers are supposed to be able to say anything at any time on any occasion. And the fact is, Susan and I are here because of Marissa and Jerry. We all miss Marissa. So the only thing that we can do is carry her in our hearts. And that's what we do. And that's what Jerry does. We care about these two people who have made such a difference in all of our lives in a way that's just so so powerful. So thank you, Marissa, as you're looking down on us, over from us. Maybe she's over there with a tree, or this tree right here. We don't know. Good. You carry your hearts.
Big hand for our dear friend Michael Cladis right here that kindly helped set up so people could hear us. And they used to do so much good stuff musically at the old boathouse on the pier. And I wish was still open now and we could all go over afterwards, because that was a great place, if you remember. And now I'm equally honored to introduce another former great mayor of Santa Monica, an activist for years and years and years, working on women's issues, pride issues, environmental issues. She was the first co-chair of the Urban Forest Task Force when we started it. She was arrested with Jim Kahn at the Nevada test site protesting against nuclear weapons, not once, but a few times. Also, former Mayor Paul Rosenstein, unfortunately, he can't be with us today, but he's here in spirit. He was arrested at the test site also. And Judy was the deciding vote when she was on the city council. And the reason that Paul Conrad, the 3-time Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist for the LA Times, that donated this wonderful 26-foot tall peace sculpture to the city of Santa Monica, Judy is the reason that the council accepted it in a close 4-3 vote, after the Arts Commission unanimously recommended to the council that it be approved unanimously. There were still people that didn't want it, but fortunately a lot of the people that didn't want it have come around saying, you know, maybe it is important now, especially with Putin threatening the use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine and the craziness that's happening, and realizing that this can be an educational tool, so we don't just hide things under the rug from the kids. That even though it looks scary like a nuclear mushroom cloud, the message is that this is a statement of peace. May it never become an epitaph. So thank you, Paul Conrad. May you rest in peace. And thank you to Joan Kroc, who inherited billions of dollars from the McDonald's Foundation, spent it all on great things like the Salvation Army, public broadcasting, anti-nuclear stuff, peace stuff, and the initial $250,000 to build Chain Reaction. And I want to thank the attorneys, Ken Crutcher and Chris Harding, that donated their time representing Paul Conrad's son and making sure we got this sculpture landmarked unanimously by our wonderful Landmark Commission. It was deassessed, but Mike Myers, that was on the Arts Commission at the time, gave the community a chance to raise money. Marissa was the first person to donate $100. It ended up $100,000, with $25,000 from Norman Lear, Veterans for Peace donating $1,000, people coming through and knowing how important that was. Marissa did all the artwork for that, did a lot of these signs, except for this unprofessional one here. But the message is good, saying we love Santa Monica trees. I did that sign, just so you know. Maybe I'll sign my name. So, without any further ado, please welcome our former great mayor and active every day since in the community with the Ocean Park Association and other great groups and the Water Board. I could go on and on. Please welcome Judy Abdo.
also really short.
I forgot to say that.
You may have noticed. I am thrilled to be here to hug a tree with Jerry, which I've done many, many times. And I'm sure that you all are anxious to hug a tree too. And Jerry has created this institutional activity of hugging on the solstice. So it's really wonderful to be here and celebrate with all of you. And we need peace more than ever. And let's all work in our lives to make peace happen. So thank you for being here, and let's hug a tree, Jerry.
We will. We'll have Kathy speak. Then we're going to do it. You can tell Michael is an experienced stage manager, but it's just automatic, you know how I've done that stuff myself. So thank you again, Michael. And I want to thank our wonderful, the greatest photographer from Santa Monica Close-Up, Fabian, for being out here to record this, and you're ongoing. Please go to Santa Monica Close-Up if you haven't already to see the greatest pictures of Santa Monica, you know, and so good. I would like to introduce one of the people that I really, really admire because of her true ongoing dedication. We first met when Kathy and others were working to save the Biona wetlands from Playa Vista development, and they had a formidable task, and they gained a lot of good stuff, and they're still doing it. And this was years and years and years ago. I remember going on a hunger strike and all that, but if you want to talk about the people behind the scenes that have been working every day, these are the people to really be admired. So please welcome from the Sierra Club, Kathy Knight.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I was going to talk today, so I didn't prepare anything. So this is ad hoc. But yeah, thank you very much. And I think it's wonderful that we're saving nature everywhere. Every tree in Santa Monica we save is saving nature. And you look out now and you look out and you see all these beautiful trees and plants and everything. It really makes, for me, it makes living wonderful. And yeah, I've been working for 30 years to save the Biona wetlands, and it never ends. We're against billionaires all the time, and they want to bulldoze it and change it into a saltwater bay. It's just not what it should be. We want to save the animals and the plants and everything. So we're still working hard, but we won a really important lawsuit a couple of weeks, about a month ago. So, you know, it just goes on and on, over 30 years now. But, you know, if you want to put the word out to people, the Biona wetlands should be saved, and we want to do a slow, careful restoration, you know, where we just all go out there and do it. That's all it needs. And Jerry is an important person in my life because he led this fight years ago to save the ficus trees in downtown Santa Monica. And I got involved, and it changed my life, you know. I got out there and I met Joe Ferris there, and we were both tree savers, and I met him and we got together, and we've been together ever since, over 10, 12 years now. And it's wonderful because we both have that same feeling inside about trees and nature. So it's all good. It's all a wonderful thing. And thank you very much, Jerry, for doing this every year. I love you.
Now, before we do a group tree hug around the Children's Tree of Life, and then walk over to do another group circle around the Tree of Gratitude that was planted for Marissa on Earth Day. Thank you to the city for doing that. There'll be a plaque put there soon, and the plaque will say, Tree of Gratitude, planted Earth Day, April 22nd, 2023, in memory and honor of tree lover Marissa Rubin. So, as a sister tree to its older sister, 40 years older, the Children's Tree of Life, that Marissa named. Thank you, Ken Edwards, again for proclaiming it a living monument to world peace. I heard Michael sing before we started, and he's a great person, knows so much about music and tied in with music. I asked if he would be willing to sing another song, and very grateful. Michael Cladis, thank you so much. And then we're going to hug the tree.
I am grateful for this moment because I want to thank Jerry Rubin for all the good things that he has done in the last many decades. He's a unique, wonderful person, and I know that you are all best friends with him. All right, let's do Blackbird. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to rise. Yeah, blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Okay, thank you, Meryl.
So we should probably move the banners.
If everyone will walk in and grasp the Children's Tree of Life and layer your circle around as best you can, just come on in. First come, first serve, and then lean in and hug everybody, and everybody that wants to be part of this, please come, because we could use all the good energy we could get right now. Come on in. Come on in. In closer. Come on. That's it. You gotta hug it, lean in, hug. Come on in closer. There's, oh, I can see some empty space here. Let's hug it.
Hey, Jerry, you need to hug this tree. Get in here.
I will. I want to get this gentleman here to come on in and hug the tree.
Come on in, hug the tree.
Yeah, or hug a person hugging the tree. Hug another tree hugger, hug the tree.
There we go.
Yeah. Kneel down a little because you're tall. You know, kneel down a little because you're tall. Go behind. That's okay. Nice try. Okay, everybody. This is going in the graduation class photo. So we got to get this guy to.
It's hugging me back.
Oh, good. Excellent.
It's the ants.
One more very special person that I forgot to. Michael? You got this? The microphone right here? I just got to tighten this. Michael? Before we go, can I have your attention, everybody? I want to introduce my friend Lawrence Cohen. He really has been on a mission to help raise funds for the Hirschberg Foundation for pancreatic cancer research. And he's gotten people to help with that in Marissa's name, and I hope people will consider donating to that good cause. It's really personal, and that's what Marissa had wanted, and that's what I want. And Lawrence has been helping, and he does a lot of wonderful things for the community, and a dear friend. Please welcome to the microphone, Lawrence Cohn, also from Philadelphia, my hometown.
First and foremost, I also want to acknowledge Jerry. He's really the institutional memory of Santa Monica. I mean, he has such great detail, and he always includes us in all of that. And we need people like that with amazing memories. And the fact that he's going to be 80 this year, standing straight up, ramrod straight, memory intact. I imagine, Jerry, how tall was this tree when it was planted? Shorter than you are now. So when the companion tree was dedicated just a few months back, Andy Lipkus, the founder of the Tree People, was here. And he said something very profound, and I think it's important to acknowledge that today. The relationship between humans and trees is essential, because all of the things that pollute, all the things that we breathe out, the trees breathe in and then give us oxygen. So when we hug a tree, it's really a way to say thank you every day. And look at all the trees that are around us that we take for granted that they're here, but they frame our lives in a way that affects our health, mentally and physically. So thank you all for showing up today, and I'll get over my embarrassment and hug the tree. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you for bringing that about the tree.
It's going to be hard to hug this tree unless you're a hobbit, maybe. Something, you know, I'm feeling down. Come on in, ladies. I want to introduce you to the new tree of gratitude. And you'll see the children's tree of life over here. This tree,
Maybe we should just
thanks
hug
to
a
the
big
city of Santa Monica, is growing and blossoming every day, spreading an aura of love and peace and environmental awareness and gratitude. And it was planted in memory of Marissa, whose real important thing was gratitude. She'd always remind me, Jerry, I know things can be rough, but even when things are the roughest, it's the most important time to remember the good things in our life. You can always find them. See them right here now. Friends, sun's coming up. Hey, we're not homeless on the street, eating. What can I say? Challenges. That's why this tree is being called the tree of gratitude. And the last few days, Marissa was in her hospice bed. I asked her if this would be something okay to do. She was such an honest person, no false modesty. She didn't say, oh, I don't need to. She said, Jerry, that would be a lovely gesture. Took my hand and said, and it's special because it's going to be a living memorial. So I said, should it be called the tree of gratitude? on the gratitude tree. She just said, I think it should be called the tree of gratitude. That's what it is. I spoke with our city manager, David White. I spoke with our urban forester, Matthew Wells. They were on board in 2 seconds. They walked out here, picked the site. I said, I'll pay for it. Marissa paid for the plaque 40 years ago for the Children's Tree of Life. They reminded me that